what is metaphor? Now, simile is like metaphor. Now, but there's a difference. Now, we say that simile is what? The comparison between two things with the use of like or as. But in metaphor, we do not make use of like or as. What do? We remove the like or as. So in simile, we say that something is like another thing. In metaphor, we say that something is another thing. If I say she talks like a parrot, that's simile, right? In metaphor, we say that she is that thing. She is a parrot. That's metaphor, right? So simile and metaphor, they look alike. So let's look at more examples. So simile is when we insist that one thing is another thing. So instead of saying that he is as black as charcoal, what is metaphor there? We say that what? He is the charcoal. He is the charcoal. It talks like a madman. Oh, he's a madman. That guy is a madman. That is what metaphor when when that person is actually not mad. He's a madman. He's a madman. That is what metaphor. So in metaphor is the indirect comparison. In metaphor, we have to deduce that somebody that you are comparing. Now let's look at this more complex example, or let's look at more simpler examples. So we have life is a marketplace. Life is a marketplace. Life something is another thing. Life is another thing, a marketplace. Is life a marketplace? No. But we said that life is a marketplace. That is metaphor. Life is a stage, or the world is a stage. The world. Now, one of the ways to identify metaphor is to try and put like in between that statement. For example, we have life is a marketplace. We put like, we say life is like a marketplace. That is what simile, right? And that makes it metaphor if you remove the like. So that is metaphor. Now, metaphor is most of the times it is not easy to identify. Now let's look at this example. Let's say I write a poem about my lover, Ngozi, right? So the title of the poem is Ngozi, my lover. Now in the first line I said, Ngozi is the sugar in my tea. The second line, Ngozi is a cockroach in my cupboard. Ngozi, my arts. Or Ngozi, the keys to my life. Ngozi, the key to my life. Now let's look at the last one I said now. Ngozi, the keys to my arts. What figure of speech is that? That is metaphor. But how do we know? Because we have been talking about Ngozi earlier. I said Ngozi is sugar in my tea. She's the cockroach in my cupboard. She's the poo-poo in my pool. Right? Metaphor. Now we said Ngozi, or I just said my art. My art. Who is my heart? Ngozi that I've been talking to, that I've been referring to earlier. Right? I've been talking about earlier. That is metaphor. So, and that is why metaphor is more of deduction. We have to deduce before we know that, oh, we're actually comparing it. And that is why metaphor is a what? Is an indirect comparison. Why? Metaphor is an indirect comparison. Why? Because most of the time we don't know that we're actually comparing. Somebody comes and says, oh, coconut head, come here. Coconut head. Now I'm referring to somebody as a coconut head. What am I doing there? I am comparing the person's head to coconut. But if I say, look at your head like coconut, come here. Now that's simile, right? But in metaphor, it is what? Indirect. We have to deduce that, oh, this is what we mean. So that is metaphor. So your classwork in the comment section, try and look for, give me 5 examples of metaphor that you have tried to create yourself. Do not use ChatGPT or AI. Just try and mention it in the comment section, and I would let you know if you got it right or wrong. See you in the next class.